This podcast is on a mission to end the orphan crisis. You're listening to Family is the Answer, powered by Podcast Network Asia. We share resources and stories to equip families who plan to adopt and foster, empower advocates who fight for vulnerable mothers and children, and invite communities to impact generations. I'm Chrina Henson, the Executive Director for Generations Home, a nonprofit organization and licensed child placement agency based in the Philippines. Learn more about our work through our website, generationshome.org. Now, let's jump in to this week's topic. Hi, everybody. My name is Chrina, and I'm here to welcome you back to our Family is the Answer podcast. We are wrapping up 2025, and joining me, of course, is our co-founder, Jasmine Buen. Hi, Jam.
Hi.
It is so nice to be in the same room with you. It has been such a crazy year.
It has. I think that's a simple way to put it, but
sitting in the same room has now become like
a rarity that we did not expect will face.
No, and it's just so nice. It's just so nice to be able to look back on 2025 with you. And really, that's what we want to do this episode, is just to look back on, they do the 12 gifts of Christmas, the 12 days of Christmas, on like just the incredible things that have happened. But like, before we dive into that, I don't know, what are your reflections on 2025?
I don't know. I think well, crazy is one way to put it. I think a lot of the things this year were unexpected, but I think like I would not have it any other way. I think like all the surprises and gifts that came our way, and even like personally this year, I feel like I could not have planned it better.
Which means a lot because you're incredible at planning things. But yeah, I just think every year the work we do gets better and bigger. And what that means for me is that I guess just understanding the profound privilege it is to be able to do this work. I can't help but feel incredibly blessed that we get to do this. And I look back on 2025 and I think there's so many more than 12 gifts that we've received. But, for the sake of time and really our attempt to want to unwrap these presents for our community, our partners, our friends, our family that have come alongside us, advocated with us, partnered with us, prayed with us. This is like our big gift unwrapping. Of sorts, unboxing, where we want to share with you the gifts that not we as Generations Home have received, but really we, us and you listeners out there have received together as we lock arms on this mission for seeing a Philippines without orphans, a world without orphans, and a place where every child has a safe and loving family. And so we're going to get started. And like I said, we're going to walk you through 12 of the gifts that we have received together. And at Generations Home, I think just starting real personal and real close to us, I think are just the new additions to our team. This year, we welcomed 2 new social workers, Angel and Eunice. We don't hire quickly. And we know that hiring social workers is something that we take really seriously. We feel incredibly privileged to have them. They've been such a joy. And I think our families have really enjoyed our new social workers. And we're so glad that we've gotten to call them part of our Gen Home family. And also this year we welcomed Tina Templa. Was that just this year? It feels like Tina has been here for
part of the team for
20 years. Yeah. But when Tina joined our team and she took on first events and partnerships, she's just completely changed how we do our partnership work with churches and just taking it to the next level. And we're really excited because next year she is taking on a new role for Director of Advocacy. And so Jam is very happy. There's nobody happier than Jam.
What a gift.
What a gift she's been to our team. What a gift our social workers have been to our team, and every member, even those that have been with us for a long time. It's just recognizing that our team is everything.
Yeah, and they've just been such gifts to the families we serve, the churches we partner with. So we're very, very excited to have started the year with that. And another way we started the year, so next on our list were mission trips. We started our year with a huge trip.
A massive mission trip.
A mission trip from California. We received the Saddleback team, the Care for Children team, who flew all the way from London and from California to spend time with us, to get to know our team, to get to know families, to visit institutions, mount events at churches, just bring such incredible gifts that really lasted us the year, right? And given us, more than enough to really just work with and to share to the community around us. And that's how we started the year. I think, the way that they really just poured into our team, shared their expertise in policy and in TBRI and just the many things that they've been implementing globally, really, for many years now, for, over decades. Just be on the receiving end of that was just such an amazing time to start a year.
Yeah, and I think learning new things from the partners that we work with is an incredible gift, right? Like learning new ways of doing things. And so our families, we share this because maybe the families that we serve have received these gifts without knowing that it's because of what was started in that mission trip by Saddleback and Care for Children and things that we've learned. And we've learned how to do things better and better and better, hopefully, always getting better at what we do. And that's a huge gift. Right. Because left to ourselves, if we were just in our own little bubble, we know very little about how to support foster and adoptive families. But that trip was really instrumental to that.
And I remember even government partners saying oh my gosh, this is possible. And for us, it's these are things that we've been seeing from afar and imagining that maybe 10 years from now, this will be possible in the Philippines. But to see that happen in 2025 was just such a gift.
Yeah, it's been incredible. So I can't wait to have them again next year.
Yeah.
I know we're expecting
to watch out
the
for.
Saddleback team to be back. We'll talk a little bit more about some of the things we got to do with them, but I feel like that trip really lit a fire and started something that, we get to continue to steward over the next couple of years. Third on our list is Jam is now a certified jet setter, world traveler, frequent flyer. You probably have racked up more miles than any of us. How many times did you have to fly to the US this year?
This year, I think it was 5 trips.
Yeah, I feel like your visa is I'm surprised they still let you in.
I know. I'm waiting to be questioned.
But it's just, we say that not because really of the trips, but I think that every time you had to get on a plane, and I don't take that lightly. Thank you for doing that. It's a huge sacrifice for her to spend very little time in the Philippines and so much time on airplanes and traveling back and forth and living out of a suitcase. It is not the glamorous jet setting life that we're joking it is.
A lot of couch surfing.
It's a lot of couch surfing. Yeah. But thanks for doing that, because I think that's been able to start a lot of new relationships that we have with different communities. And all of that is bearing fruit in what we do today. There's the Send.
Yeah.
There's Royal Family Kids Camp. There's the Renew Retreat, which we got to do. I had the opportunity to do that with you. That was incredible. Just with a second mothers community and now the second fathers community in North Carolina. We had the opportunity to go. I had the chance to speak and do some workshops. And it was just such a great, great, great opportunity for us to meet adoptive and foster families from different parts of the world. There was CAFO. There were all these trips with Saddleback. I wonder if you could just tell us a little bit about some of those trips that you went on, especially the Send.
Yeah, well, the Send was just such a huge surprise. I think last minute, I got on a plane to represent vulnerable children as a mission field in the Philippines. For those of you who don't know or may be hearing about the Send for the first time, we'll probably talk about this more next year, because in June of 2026, the Send is a stadium conference that they've been doing in other parts of the world, many states in the US. And it's really gathering young people, Gen Zs, young professionals. And then, for a one-day conference talking about different mission fields. And what's striking to me is, I think it's the first youth conference that I've encountered where they are very intentional about vulnerable children.
Wow.
And so you have foster families being on stage. You have Francis Chan, and you have an adoptee like Christine Kane being on stage and just sharing their stories and knocking on the hearts of young people, asking then and there, will you respond to the vulnerable children in your area, in your country even? And that has, bore so much fruit in different parts of the world. And I can't wait to see that happen.
I'm so excited.
A few months from now, happen in the Philippines and launch all these young people.
Is there a date?
It's happening on June 12th. So that's a holiday. So block out your calendars.
So don't go anywhere.
Yeah, don't go anywhere.
Please be here June 12th.
Yeah.
And is it just for Gen Zs? And
it's for everyone, really.
If there's a mom out there who's listening and she's like, like, I am not Gen Z.
It's for everyone, really. I think what they're also starting to see, what the global team starting to see is it's becoming multi-generational.
That's amazing.
Which is amazing. And, and it's a movement more than the conference itself. It's the movement that happens afterwards that really is amazing. And, you have everyone responding in different ways. You have young people signing up to be foster parents, and leading.
I can't wait to see that in the Philippines.
It's just so exciting. So more about that next year.
Okay, great. And obviously Royal Family Kids Camp, my daughter Chloe got to go. You got to be a mentor.
Yeah, I was a buddy. For 5 days. Chloe and I got to join a camp
so great.
In the summer and spent 5 days up in the mountains, no gadgets and anything like that. But really just be surrounded by...
When she says no gadgets, she does not mean just the kids. She means she actually did not
off the grid.
Yeah, we could not find her.
But spending 5 days really just connecting with foster kids and really kids who come from the hardest places that I've ever heard of. And seeing healing happen like on overdrive for 5 days and just loving on these kids. And what's amazing to me is seeing volunteers who were, trained in TBRI like a few weeks prior.
Diving right in.
And really just seeing how powerful it is. And anyone can do it. Like you had teenagers doing TBRI and there was no need to send anyone home, because everyone got the skills.
Which for context is a huge thing at camps for vulnerable children, right?
Oh, yeah.
When you're dealing with kids from hard places, like typically a child needs to go home to keep them safe, to keep other kids safe. And the fact that did not need to happen is huge.
Yeah.
So that's been great. And I think just the partnerships that have been formed throughout last year with that community, with Ascend, with the Second Mothers community, it's just, we go deeper and deeper every year and it's been great.
It has. All right. Well, next on our list are new partners, actually. So not just those that we had trips with, but really everyone who we've connected with this past year. I mean, I kind of need to take a minute to catch my breath because these are partners. We've met with Lifesong and Show Hope and
One More Child,
and just all these amazing organizations we've been looking up to since day one, like even day zero, really, when we were shaping up the work of Generations Home and what we would dream our organization or whatever we were starting, at the time. We just dreamt that someday, maybe we'll cross paths with them.
Someday maybe we'll meet them.
We'll be in the same room. We'll hear them speak on stage. Yeah. But to be in meetings and in collaborations and even a trip, for One More Child, just being in the same room. To be invited
to see what they do, it's just such a privilege. And we're so grateful that,
all these partners and, making our work possible, even from afar. And, there's just so much to look forward to from those trips too.
Yeah. And also I need to mention Sage Studios.
Yes.
I mean, we're sitting here today and it's just taken our podcast to a whole new level. And we're so grateful that we get to be neighbors in the building, but also that Sage Studios has just been incredibly generous with us. And we're so grateful. And I think it's just another reminder that everybody can do something. Mm-hmm. That's why when someone says, hey, I want to volunteer, or hey, I want to partner, we say, hey, what do you do? Because we want to find a meaningful way for you to use what you have in your hand to serve orphaned and vulnerable children. And I just think this is an incredible example of that, them opening their doors to us and letting us do our podcast here.
Yeah, not just a podcast. Recently we even did like a webinar and really how Sage
with the government, with
shifted the room and their work and everything, the team to just really be in support of what we do. It's been a gift.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I do want to talk a little bit about Sound of Hope screenings. Yeah. It's a big one because, last year you and I got to attend one of the early premiere showings when we were in California, and we got to meet Rebecca Weigel and just shake hands, exchange contact details, and then think we're never going to hear from her again. And we're never going to, but I think you guys have gotten to know each other pretty well and stayed connected. Yeah. And she's been so generous with the film as well as just the entire Sound of Hope team. We've just seen churches open their doors to us doing these screenings. We mentioned Tina earlier today, but Tina's been leading that, initiating these conversations with churches and letting us do screenings for the community. And what we've found is that Sound of Hope is this amazing tool. You know, if you want to talk about sprinkling seed on the ground and then just kind of waiting and watering it and waiting for it to grow, Sound of Hope has been amazing. It has opened so many doors, prepared so many hearts, and it's just been such a critical first step for us to help people see some of the realities around what happens in the lives of foster and adoptive families. So grateful. You got to meet Bishop Martin this year.
Yes, I did.
A month ago, hanging out with Bishop Martin and, you know, the whole.
Yeah, we had a few events together. I mean, I met him at CAFO, got to sit with him to plan for events that were happening a month later. And so just a few weeks ago, I think, we got to spend more time together and got to know him and even the executive producer, Joe Nittig, from Care Portal. And really, I think like that was a glimpse of even further, like a further glimpse into what the church is like, what their church is like Bennett, and also just the community that has made that story possible. Just seeing and hearing from him, like the heart behind it. I mean, you know, someday, again, it's always like someday we're going to see that in the Philippines. And we are starting to see that with this movie, you know, and so that's been an incredible gift that we get to host free screenings. So for anyone who wants it, please reach out to us. We want to share that gift with you.
We want to share this with churches and communities. I think if you're listening, whatever church you're from, feel free to like send us an email. Let us know that you're interested, and we would love to be a part of helping you mount this at your church.
Yeah, and I think like from those screenings, right, like what's made possible was clearing out institutions in their county, in their area, and you know, and partnering with the government. I think that was huge. And so that's what's next on our list: government collaborations.
We're at number 6, guys. I know it feels like we're talking a lot, but
we're halfway there.
Imagine if we walked you through all of it. Just
I know. There's just
the whole
so much.
150,000 gifts that we received this year.
Yeah, but government collaborations is a huge one. We're so grateful for the continuous partnership with the NACC, with the National Authority for Child Care, the DSWD, all the local government units that we've gotten to partner with this past year from literally Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. Our team was just sent out doing foster care equipping sessions and orientations and further equippings, and really partnering even on an advocacy level with the Pasig government. For example, we just did an adoption and foster care webinar that was right here in Sage Studios, and really family strengthening and equipping workshops, and just being able to do that and partner with our amazing government social workers and everyone on staff at government, you know, our servant leaders at government. It's been amazing seeing their heart and working alongside them, and just knowing that the sacrifices they're making, we get to be part of that. We get to see that and see the fruit of that. And whenever we see like one family raise their hand saying, license us for foster care, it's also so worth it. And I think that's a gift that we don't want to miss out on sharing with our listeners, our viewers, because, you know, every prayer you've sown really is bearing fruit.
Well, I want to move on to number 7. Talk a little bit about TBRI, which we love. We became practitioners about year and a half ago. And since then have had the opportunity for me to like really go deep and live it. But, you know, with the establishing of AGCI, All God's Children International in the Philippines as well. And just as they've been just an ambassador of TBRI in the Philippines, we've been able to really have a lot of opportunities to introduce TBRI to different communities, from the different foster and adoptive families that NACC has tapped us to support. And now they've become a part of our community of adoptive and foster families. And then also just thinking about Fun on Purpose, which we did with the Saddleback team this year. For those who don't know what Fun on Purpose is, the Saddleback team had created activities, which could be like typically a one day, right? Yeah. Like activity meant to really foster connection, relational connection between families. And we were able to do a bunch of those this year, from doing them for our own Generations Home foster and adoptive families to at various government institutions, children's homes, even with a church on a Sunday. We were able to pilot on Father's Day, just like a small version of that, where we were able to introduce TBRI in a really practical way to families, giving them tools and handles that they could take home with them and hopefully deepen the connection that they have relationally.
Yeah, and I think about like a couple of families, who were at the trainings, like our classroom type trainings at Generations Home. So they would sit for like a couple of weeks in our office to learn TBRI, and then like a few weeks later be playing with their kids and connecting with their kids, and really just seeing that in action, it's just incredible.
It's been amazing because I think, when a lot of times in the foster and adoptive space, they ask like, do you have any disruptions in your cases? And the fact that we haven't had any disruptions in our cases so thus far, I think is really thanks to TBRI. And a lot of prayer, but really TBRI as a tool that our social workers and our team is able to use to equip foster and adoptive families and to support them through the journey. It's not like you go through a training and we're like, you're on your own, see you. But our social workers are coming alongside foster and adoptive families and actually holding their hand, helping them get through the hardest of challenges that they have in their home. So grateful for TBRI.
Yeah. Next on our list is our Pregnant Women in Crisis program. This year, 2025, we got to serve 13 mothers, really, and, spare those children, spare those babies from abandonment, trafficking, neglect. And these kids are in family, whether that's the biological family or of a potential foster family. They're in family, and that's what matters. And I think we don't take that lightly. Maybe there are a few episodes where we talk about PWIC, this orphan prevention program in length, and I encourage you to check that out. But really this year is just such a celebration for us in that front. For me, the highlight in this program is just last month in November for Thanksgiving / the holiday season, we welcomed the holiday season with a gathering of these moms who were in our program, not just this year, but even the years prior. And just see them, see a few of them in the same room. But not just that, but really welcome new volunteers for this program from Victory BGC, from the Love the City program, ministry.
Victory BGC is a church in our community. That's been partnering with us.
And see them really interact and connect and pray for these women and their babies and hold their babies. Like, what a powerful picture.
Hold their babies and hold these mothers. You know what I mean? Like holding their hand and praying for them and standing with them. It was really powerful.
Yeah, a powerful picture that healing is possible and hope is possible. And I think, one of the things I look forward to next year is really even bringing TBRI to birth families.
Yes, I was going to say.
And I got to see that in action for a bit right at the end of this last trip I did. And it's so possible. It's so powerful. And I can't wait to just implement that for our PWIC program.
Right. Number 9 on our list is the Hope House. Super excited about this. I know, just like, I don't even know where to start. I need you guys to come and see it. Giving Hope Foundation gave us this beautiful property, a shop house in Santa Rosa. Is that correct? Do I say Santa Rosa? In Laguna. Probably what most people would feel is like within the Santa Rosa area. But it is technically in Laguna, and it's just about 40 minutes away from maybe Makati or the central business district in Metro Manila. But the shop house was given to us about a year ago. We've finally gotten it up and running, furnished, ready to welcome families. We've had a few worship gatherings at the space already. We're launching that at the start of January and opening it up for families to come. We're really excited. I think next year we're going to be able to do like family coaching and therapy and different kinds of training and equippings out of that space. Partnerships are coming alongside us as well. Pray with us, hopefully a coffee shop, like just a nice community gathering space as well. But all of that happening next year, and us just being able to end 2025 knowing that
it's furnished.
It's ready to go. We prayed really hard for the furniture.
Yeah,
I think every piece of furniture that is in that space was a gift. Yeah. It was something that we know we don't deserve, but we just have the privilege of stewarding for all of the families that we serve. So we hope you come in and visit the space with us this year.
Right.
this coming year.
Well, next on our list is our partnership with Kids with Purpose International. This is a huge one. Actually, as we're recording, we just ended a campaign with Kids with Purpose International with Miss Diana, who we had the privilege of spending time with actually in a couple of months ago. But this partnership has been a long partnership. I mean, for many of you who's been part of our community, like we always do events with them, and we always do advocacy, and we talk about, their kids and the teenagers, and just we do almost everything together. But this year was very special because this year marked a shift for Kids with Purpose, that from residential care, there was this opportunity really to transition to family-based care. And so that really forged the partnership with Generations Home and Kids with Purpose even further and deeper in really, seeing these kids and these teenagers be in homes. Well, and I get to see this firsthand.
John
I have
gets
a
to
brother.
see this firsthand because she now has a brother.
And it's just a wonderful opportunity to see that, these families from churches, they've stepped in, they've said, yes, we have partners, saying, we'll sponsor the scholarships, we'll take care of education, we'll take care of the basic needs. Churches in the U.S., like we have Shoreline Church, for example, saying, we'll take care of their needs. And we have another church saying, we'll take care of their education. And it's just a powerful picture of what's possible for kids in homes, and my dream is to see this be in practice for other homes in Metro Manila and the rest of the world. But really
it's so hard though, right? Because the truth is that transition is really painful. It's difficult, and it's been a challenging few months as we walked with them, but also really wonderful to see how God set things up for just this greater mission of seeing children and families and seeing children that were once living in an orphanage, now your brother, and now living in the homes with families from our church that love them. And some of them living independently, right? And so our role has been really to steward the independent living program through the leadership of Kevin and Ashley Wickham. They oversee that program and, help us raise the support. But we definitely still need partnerships for that, need families and communities to come around these kids and the many children that are about to age out in institutions as well. So that's our partnership with KWPI. There's a ton of content that we have available online as well if you want to read up on what that's been like. I think there's probably an article on our website that you guys could look up to just learn a little bit more about that partnership from this year.
All right. Well, next on our list are new families.
Yes. The new families that we have this year. I don't know. What's our count now?
I think a total of
we're
40.
Okay. So I know that because we have something special with our families, like our count's close to 40 families, right? Yeah. And I think probably around 15 of them from this year, thereabouts. I need to verify the numbers, and I'm sure it's going to come out.
And matchings are still happening.
And matchings are still happening, and our impact report's going to be out soon. So you guys are going to get all the, the actual numbers as I make stuff up. Try not to make stuff up on this podcast. But really what we wanted to talk about is not the numbers, but the quality and the type of families that we've seen rise up. Families that would say yes to sibling groups.
Yeah.
In the past, sibling group adoption is something only for intercountry adoption. This never happens in domestic adoption, almost ever. Yeah. But we've seen families in our community welcome 3 boys, 2 boys, and boys. For some reason, like there are types of adoptions which are less common. It's just been wonderful to see families say yes to what we would say harder things, right? Children from hard places and cases that are harder to say yes to because of the commitment involved. We've just seen families raise their hand and jump in with both feet, ready to do whatever it takes to love on these children. And that's been an incredible privilege. So we just this is us also wanting to recognize those families and to say, we see you, we know what a gift you are to us and to the world around you that gets to witness you welcoming children into your family through adoption and foster care. It is a gift we don't take lightly, and we hope your community doesn't take it lightly as well.
Yeah, well, that leads us to our last thing on the list. And this last gift is something we're unboxing a few days from now. This is our 2025 family reunion. So, those 40 plus families will be gathering them, this weekend as we're recording. And it's the very first time we're going to see them in one room and see all the kids. A few of them come from the same children's home, and they're going to be seeing each other for
Someone
the first time.
Someone needs to bring me a box of tissues.
I don't know how I'll be.
Just to say.
This weekend.
I don't know if I'm going to make it out alive.
What a gift.
But we're doing that, and really that's for us to celebrate just what God has done. In not at Generations Home, but in the lives of these families, and because of the support of the larger community. And I think that's just the perfect way to land this episode, that we know that we get to be part of this. And we hope that all of you listening, whether you've prayed, you've partnered, you've advocated with us from near or far, know that we get to be a part of this. We get the chance to lock arms with God and seeing children being welcomed into families. And what a precious thing that is.
Yeah, and I think with that, it's a gift that we'll be sharing with the church that's hosting us. We'll be doing this event at Victory BGC. There are businesses who are coming alongside us, really sponsoring food and gifts and activities for kids. And really this whole thing is a picture of, this gift that 2025 has been for us. So grateful.
So we are incredibly grateful. And, there's so many more things on our list. And we hope that you would continue to journey with us through 2026 and the many years to come, where we get to walk alongside families. And if you've been blessed by the work that we do, we invite you to just let us know. We would love to hear from you, whether it's commenting, sharing the podcast, writing us, let us know how we can serve you better in the year that's to come. If you want to know more about the work that we do at Generations Home, you can visit our website at generationshome.org. We're also on various social media platforms where you can stay connected, get all the information that you need to figure out how you can do something that would make a difference in ending the orphan crisis through families. So that's it for us. Again, I'm Chrina, and
I'm Jam.
Looked like she wasn't sure. And this is the Family is the Answer podcast. We'll see you again soon in 2026. That was the Family is the Answer podcast by Generations Home, powered by Podcast Network Asia. Learn more about ending the orphan crisis and fueling our work through our website, generationshome.org. You can also find us on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. If you found this podcast helpful, please leave us a rating so more people can find it too. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you at our next episode.